Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League with Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. This is a powerful ninja planeswalker that can also attack and serve as a really strong win condition. So let me read the text. So you can ninjutsu him out, which basically means he's uncounterable. You just have to bounce an attacking unblocked creature back to your hand. And you, the plus ability, which you don't really use that often, is +1. Ninjas you control get +1/+1. You can also do the 0, which is very similar to like Jace the Mind Sculptor. Surveil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. So you want to be sure to activate this after combat. And then he has a minus ability where he defends himself. He comes in with 4 loyalty and this costs 2. So you can do this twice basically. But tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. And the way stun counters work, the card does not untap for like basically 2 turns. So you get like 2 full turns of not having to deal with that Murktide or whatever it is on the opposing side of the table that's giving you grief. So, of course, ninjutsu means bouncing stuff back to your hand. So why not just play all the cards that have awesome enter the battlefield triggers? Baleful Strix, we're playing 4. Orcish Bowmasters, we're playing 4. We're playing a single Snapcaster because it's a little higher curve and we are a pretty low curve kind of tempo-y deck. And of course, we also have Yuriko. She has Commander Ninjutsu, which doesn't matter for our purposes, but basically she has Ninjutsu, and you can put her in, and whenever a ninja you control deals damage to an opponent, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. So if you're flipping like a Force of Will, bam, 5 to the dome. Very strong. We've also got a couple Murderous Cuts in here, which I think these are really good. We're not using our graveyard for anything else. These get around Chalice of the Void, which a lot of decks are playing. So I decided to split between 2 Murderous Cuts, 2 Fatal Push. And I may not have mentioned this, but Tamiyo is also a flying 1-drop that you can bounce back to your hand after she's created a clue. So very good synergy with ninjas as well. So I know it's called ninjas. We're playing 3 ninjas in the deck, but I think these are going to be absolutely instrumental to these games. So please don't just dismiss this video as like, oh, it's not real ninjas. I think real ninjas hasn't been viable for a long time, but I do think this is viable. So we have a ton of disruption. We've got a Spell Pierce. We've got 4 Dazes. We've got 4 Wastelands. And we've got 2 Thoughtseize, which is really strong right now. Mana base is basically exactly like the blue-black tempo decks, and a lot of this deck is basically blue-black tempo, but we do have this ninja touch that gives us a lot more mid-range viability. And I love Baleful Strix. Like, I love 2-for-1ing my opponents and putting something on the board that basically disincentivizes them attacking. And of course, the bane of Baleful Strix is Bowmasters, so we're going to be able to shoot our opponent's Bowmasters before they can necessarily take out our Baleful Strix if we put a Baleful Strix on the stack and we have 4 mana. Okay, that's living the dream, but often we'll be able to clean up their Bowmasters after a negative exchange has happened. So I think this is going to be really fun, and we should get a lot of Enter the Battlefield triggers. Sideboard, very standard, 4 Consign to Memories and Harbinger for the Eldrazi matchup, 3 Grafdigger's Cage for Reanimator and Nadu matchups. We've got an Engineered Explosives for artifact-heavy matchups like 8 casts and stuff like that, if we ever run into that and that doesn't completely die to our Orcish Bowmaster strategy. We also have a Plague Engineer, which I think is really fun and will be good against Nadu and will also be good against lots of blue-black tempo decks that are playing Bowmasters, so we can basically have like a one-sided ban on Bowmasters. We also have Dismember for a little bit of additional removal. Again, I'm trying to avoid 1-drops because in a recent challenge, almost everybody, it's like 10 out of the, or maybe 12 or 13 of the top 32 decks were playing 4 Chalice of the Void. So it is very real. We also have a single Force Negation and 3 Hydroblasts because Moon Stompy's everywhere. As always, we're going to play a full 5 rounds. See you in round 1. Leave a comment with timestamps if you have any questions about my play or if you see areas where I can tighten up. I'm always trying to improve. Round 1, we're against a frequent Stompy player. We've got a pretty good hand against Stompy and we're on the play. I think we play out the Flooded Strand, which can fetch Island if we need to, and we have Spell Pierce up. Yeah, let's do that. We've got a Kaito hand. We can Bowmasters turn 2, then attack and return either the Bowmasters itself or the token, whichever one's not blocked. I'm going to pass. I like Wasteland in these types of matchups. If they are on initiative, which they have been playing a little bit of recently, that could be a problem. Okay, here we go. What? They put 4 of these in the exile? Holy guacamole. Yeah, that's going to come into play. Unfortunately, we can't immediately do anything about it, but I am going to go ahead and fetch and just kill it. And I'm going to do that this turn. So we have the mana to go ahead and deploy our Bowmaster. So you get the initiative. Go ahead and make your decision first. Wow. 4-drop on turn 1, uncounterable. Not that we could have countered anyway because we had Spell Pierce. I expect this deck is playing Chalice. So I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. Okay. So in step, I'm just going to go ahead and fetch, and we're going to kill this thing. And it's quite possible that they just have a follow-up one. But this thing will kill us very quickly if we let it stay on the table. Okay, this is good because we have a path to our second creature. Unfortunately, we do need to take the initiative back, so we don't have the luxury of wasting them here. So I'm just going to play this out. I think if Kaito hits the table, we're going to be in like really strong position. Okay, and they are going to go ahead and surveil. Again, if we waited, we could have waited till they put the tokens on it and then push it. But we don't really get that luxury when we need to play out a Orcish Bowmaster to take back the initiative. Okay. So let's go ahead and do our little raise the alarm, as people pejoratively refer to my dear Bowmasters. And we'll see if we can get that initiative back. We've got 2 creatures. They've got to kill both of these. All right, we won. I guess they just didn't have a plan for Bowmasters. So we haven't really shown them anything about what we're doing. So that works out well. Okay, so I think Dismember comes in. Harbinger is not terrible actually here because it can screw them off colored sources. And they don't need islands in their deck, I don't believe. Hydroblast is great. Great, like Tony the Tiger. I think Force Negation is fine because they're just exploding out of the gates. They do have cards like... I suspect they're on the red-green version, which means they probably have Minskimbu, and we want to be able to stop that too. Do we make any changes? Well, I think Snapcaster is too slow. Gosh. On the draw, I think maybe we just cut Dazes. I just don't think it's likely to work between the Caverns and this. They have probably 8 Spirit Guides in their deck. Snapcaster may be a little slow. It does have Flash, but it doesn't have any evasion. I think we could probably cut Spell Pierce on the draw. It's not great. I don't even think we're going to be able to deploy our Wastelands. I just don't think we're going to have the luxury of time because they're going to put us on the clock. Do we want to keep Yuriko and both Kaitos? I think we do because this can stun and potentially get in. I think the weakest card here is definitely Snapcaster, though. I don't take out Thoughtseize because if they have a turn 2 play, we do want to be able to deal with it. Yeah, I don't really see anything else to cut. We want to keep our removal. It's unfortunate that we're playing Murderous Cut over Fatal Push because it does take a few turns to fill up your graveyard and push and cut. But if they Chalice us turn 1, we'll definitely be glad we're playing it. All right, let's run it. And we'll get a little more information about the deck this turn. We might want to bring in Engineered Explosives if they drop a Chalice. I won't usually bring it in just against Chalice, but I will bring it in if they're playing Moxen and Chalices, and they may be. This is not a keep. We're looking for force. This answers the initial threat, and Baleful Strix is quite good at taking the initiative back. I think we have to put back Murderous Cut if we're going to go this route. They have Mold as well. Let's see. If they just explode, we do have an answer to that. I think we keep this. And if they drop a Chalice, it's not that big of a deal. It's a speed bump. Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is a very powerful card in these decks because it can be used to fix the mana and to find a threat. And this has probably never been played more than it is right now. I've noticed even Oops All Spells is playing Once Upon a Time in some builds. So it's a very heavily played card. They're taking a long time to resolve it too. Could be that they're light on mana and they're trying to decide whether I'm likely to waste them. They didn't see Wasteland last game, but they can probably presume it's in there because they're probably assuming we're just on a stock blue-black deck or maybe even a Reanimator deck because some Reanimator decks are playing Orcish Bowmasters. All right, looks like they're doing a threat here. Whoa, 4 mana. Magus. That's potentially catastrophic. Yeah, we just have to draw our lands. If we draw an island, we can potentially deal. The good news is this comes into play untapped. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm just going to play it out and I'll pass. And we'll see if we're dead. Like, they have a very slow clock. They pitched a lot of resources to be able to do that. This is why you freaking play Dismember. I'm sorry, but this card is so good. All right. I'm going to definitely fetch my basic here. And now I'm just going to play a Tamiyo out, because next turn, if I find a land, I can put Kaito in, and Kaito should make pretty short work of them. So even if they do more stuff, at least we're drawing cards now, if they have another one. Okay, they're legend rolling their land. Do they have the initiative? Babel, that's fine. I'm just going to stun the Goblin token probably. Actually, well, we'll see if I draw a land. If I don't draw a land, I could push it. All right, we got the land. I think we Kaito. They've got one card in hand. This, like, stunning this denies the mana for a turn. We can start drawing next turn. I can grab my basic swamp. All right, let's come in. Now, I think we can fetch our swamp. Perfect mana. And now, I think in the block step, we can Kaito. I hope I'm not screwing this up. Okay, I'm getting the spinner. I think this is working. So we're going to deal 3 damage immediately, and then we're going to stun their creature. Boom. It's not going to be attacking for 2 turns. Okay, they can discard some cards and draw cards. I think once we start sticking Baleful Strix, it's so anti their game plan that it will probably prompt a concession. So we hit them for 3 each turn. Okay, that was it. That was a fast match. Oh, gosh. Like, wow. How good was that Dismember? How good was it? All right, round 2. I won so hard that MTGO crashed. I had to reboot. Let's see what they're on. This hand looks pretty solid, though. All right, I don't know what they're on. I'm going to keep this because Spell Pierce is a hell of a drug. And that is a Rick James reference, and I apologize if you're watching with kids. Sorry. Rick James being the amazing musician from, I think, like the 1970s. Famously parodied by... oh, interesting. So we've got a Tundra on the other side of the table, and it's a fancy Tundra. Ooh. So maybe they're like on like some... Like, I think this costs a lot of money to buy on MTGO. Doesn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so we do have a Surveil land, and I think we grab it. I was going to say Dave Chappelle parodied Rick James a whole lot, famously. But great musician. Against a Tundra strategy, this is absolutely staying on top of our deck. We just have to find another way to put it out there. I think there's a decent likelihood that they have Stifle. Because they could be on Stiflenought, so I'm going to wait till their next turn, and then I'm going to attempt to do this. And if they Bowmaster, then I'll just attempt to hit the Bowmaster. Okay, let's do this. And they may just Brainstorm now, which is Desperation, which I love. Okay, they did. Oh, they are. Okay, great. I am going to let them do that, by the way. I'm going to hold my Spell Pierce for something better. That could be an error, but if they attempt to ponder to shuffle the Brainstorm, then I will definitely pierce that. I just didn't want to pierce the actual Brainstorm. Because a lot of times they'll get Brainstorm locked, and there's no reason you need to throw away the pierce. If they're playing blue-white, they're likely playing Planeswalkers and other things that that are more dangerous. Okay, Prismatic Vista. So they're almost certainly on Jeskai. They are fetching now. Okay. If this is... Oh, Tamiyo's fine. They don't have another mana, so I could... I don't have enough cards in my graveyard to cut her. Let's think about this. I think it's fine to just deploy the Bowmaster next turn and ignore Tamiyo for now. Tamiyo's most powerful ability is Shut Off. I think I'm going to chill on the Bowmaster and I'll deploy next turn. Or when they do something, like if they try to aggressively flip her, I'll ping then. I was just saying that I would pierce this. The fact that they didn't play another land and I'm a likely Daze land, a Daze deck does make me want to pierce this. And it will get me closer to, yeah. And I could be totally wrong in doing this. But I just want to restrict their mana. Okay. They're going to still create a clue. Oh, they do have a wasteland. That's bad news. That's very bad news. Now we need a land. So they may be on generally blue-white. Like if they're playing blue wasteland and tundra, they're Dreadnought. So I'm probably going to just keep this around because they're likely playing Daze. And now I am... The predator has become the prey. We're going to chill. We can't do anything here. They're going to start running away with this game very quickly. So, yeah, I don't think it was a bad read to pierce there, but now I regret not having brainstormed. I mean, actually, let's see. We drew one dud. Let's see if we draw a fetch. If we draw a fetch, then we will know we wouldn't have been brainstorm locked. All right, we wouldn't have been brainstorm locked. I think at this point, they certainly could have another wasteland. I'm going to chill. If they play a wasteland, then I'll just waste it so I can keep my blue-black source. But I don't think I can play a... this can't fetch a basic swamp. I think I just have to let this happen. Again, if they brainstorm, then I want to kill this Tamiyo. I think we let this happen. If we let this happen, then we're definitely not going to be killing Tamiyo, though. I think we need to wait, though. What I may end up doing is just cutting her in response to them flipping her, which is a guaranteed way to flip. If they do find a brainstorm and they attempt a brainstorm, that's another thing I can do. I'm just deathly afraid that they're going to put a wasteland into play here after I've cracked my fetch and grabbed my non-basic. Okay. So they could still have it. Okay. I'm going to let them attempt to flip her, because this is probably the window in which they would try to do that. Then I know I won't get stifled. Okay. So, if I attempt to put in the Orcish Bowmasters now, they can just flip her. If I attempt to cut her, they'll just flip her. I think the right call is to go ahead and put in Bowmasters now. And if they daze it, it's not the end of the world. I think I'm going to go for it. Let's see if they stifle. If they stifle, I'm screwed. There's nothing I can do about that. I've already kind of like made my bed when I pierced their ponder. Okay, it worked. So I am going to get a non-basic here. Not going to let them scare me. And now I'm going to go for the Bowmaster. Yeah, and if they crack and flip her, that's fine. I think this is likely to eat a Daze. But if it doesn't eat a Daze, we may have Kaito next turn. And if we don't have Kaito, yeah, there's the Daze. Okay, they're really far ahead, but I can catch up if I play correctly. Okay, this is great. So what I think we can do here is we can go ahead and play out Tamiyo, because playing Strix out doesn't really do a lot. Yeah, I'm going to play out Tamiyo because she can attack next turn, and then we can ninjutsu uncounterably. And then we can also brainstorm to protect her in case my opponent decides to kill her. And we're going to be basically fetching non-basics this entire game, because I've never seen a deck play both back to basics and wasteland. I'm going to let this through. It is possible. Like, I don't want to be... Well, I should have blocked just in case, because they could have the ninjutsu. Yeah, I'll block just in case. So now that Kaito's printed, you should always block. They're dress downing, so they're doing it in the end step. That doesn't affect Kaito, I don't think. I think he still has Planeswalker abilities, even though he's a creature. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this resolve, and then I'm going to cut Tamiyo. So it's in play. I'll just go ahead and do this before they draw the card, in case they draw like a Daze or something. And I am going to go all the way into my graveyard with this. It's possible they're going to fetch and plow here, and that was their plan. Let's go ahead and pitch 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're paying around, we have Daze mana up. They can't flip Tamiyo anymore because of their own dress down. But I'm very confident they're on Stiflenought now if they're playing main deck Wastelands and dress downs. Okay. They get a card. They can plow or Tamiyo if they'd like. Okay. They may do that in upkeep. Okay. Now it's too late. I'm just going to attack Kaito. This can only be stifled. Can't be forced or dazed. Kaito's in. Taking some damage. And I believe we can still activate him. Oh, we can't. He doesn't have any abilities because he's a creature. All right, well, it's still good. Dress down. I can't activate abilities except during main phases when I can normally cast sorcery. This is an exciting game for sure. Technically, this can still be killed. Wait, it says hexproof. Maybe it's hexproof. Anyway, man, this is like the ultimate judge call right here. Like, okay, dress down plus Kaito. It's technically a creature, but it's technically hexproof. How is it still hexproof when dress down is out? I don't know. Because I thought dress down was an ability, but maybe that's an ability that's specific to the Planeswalker. I have no idea. If you are a judge and you understand how Kaito works with dress down out, please leave a comment and enlighten us all. My opponent is fetching with the dress down still on the stack. They may be trying to plow Kaito, but I believe Kaito is hexproof. It says hexproof on it. So now we know that they have a plow in hand. That's good to know. Wow. I bet you they're kicking themselves for not seeing that line and doing something about it. They're probably going to waste... Oh, they're wasting our waste? Sure. That's fine. They have tons of clues that they can crack to pull ahead. I'm just going to start dropping Strixen. That's fine. I'm going to hold up Daze because I do believe that there's likely like going to be some big blowout that we can have with this Daze later. I think we just drop Strix and we keep attacking with Kaito. That'll be a winning strategy because they're going to have to burn their removal on Strix and they're not going to be able to attack through with Tamiyo. They're not going to be able to continue to amass clues. The long game will slowly become ours. I think I want to start by attacking just in case I draw. Yeah, I'll just attack. They could block and flip. They're not. I'm going to go ahead and do the Surveil trigger. I want to get a land. I mean, these are both really good cards. I think I try to surprise them with Bowmasters here. Man, these are both so good against them. I'm going to put this in my graveyard, and I'm going to keep this. I want to ponder for a land. Fetch would be great. I think we shuffle these. These are not land. Okay, Tamiyo, I'm going to go ahead and play this out and just bait the force out, or bait the plow out. I don't even care about her, but I know they're likely to have a plow in hand. The great thing is, even if they get like a Dreadnought into play, I can just stun it, and then I can probably just hit him a few times with Kaito. Oh, interesting. They're dazing this. That's fine. Not going to fight over that. All right, and that reduces the amount of mana that they have on the table to crack these clues. Doorkeeper Thrill's fine. Not going to fight over that. I will daze the actual thing. Let's do it. Again, I can just stun it. It's not like a great long-term strategy they force. That's okay. We will try to find interaction for this, but we can stun it and attack a couple times. So the bad news is Bowmasters isn't going to ping anything, and Baleful Strix is not going to draw a card with Doorkeeper Thrill out. Okay. So I could go ahead and their last card could very well be a Daze. One option is to flip Tamiyo, and then we can use her ability to buy back the Murderous Cut. I think that line works pretty well. So what I'm going to do first is I think I'm going to play out the Tamiyo. I'm going to minus to stun this. So it gets tapped and it stays tapped for 2 turns. Now I'm going to attack. So it's just 3 damage, but will kind of add up a little bit. Also, if they attack, I can plus this, and when I attack next turn, and then basically their attack doesn't do anything. Also, I can just get a second Planeswalker here if they don't have a counter. Okay, they don't have a counter. Force is great. Strix is no longer particularly strong here. I mean, technically, Strix can take this down. I think I'm going to put Bowmaster back for now. As much as I want it, it's just not what we want right now. And I'm going to keep all this interaction up. Now I'm going to plus Tamiyo, and next turn we can definitely buy back the Murderous Cut for this if we need to. This game is so fun, man. I'm having an absolute blast. I love these kinds of interactive kind of puzzle type games. They're going to give me, oh no, please tell me this isn't, what's her face? The Null Drifter. I'll have to daze that. Oh, this is not a big deal. We can just counter this. Yeah, I'll just daze it. I'm not missing anything. They don't have any mana up. I can force that they fight over this. Okay, they don't fight over it. Oculus is not a great card, in my humble opinion. I know a lot of people who swear by it, but I've just not been impressed with it. Here, for no reason, they attack. So this is not going to be untapped next turn. Oculus seems like it's a good card, but it's so dazeable. Like, Murktide is harder to daze. Like, the difference between costing 2 mana and costing 3 mana is huge. And also, this does die to Fatal Push, which Murktide does not. And yeah, it's easier to kill with, what's that command? Not Kolaghan's command, Kozilek's command. Yeah, like, it's just a lot easier to take out, in my humble opinion. Okay, so cards that come in. We don't actually have a lot, but Consign is pretty good against them. It stops all their robots. Is that even really where we want to be, though? I like keeping in Stifle Thoughtseize against an AB deck. They're going to be probably really careful around Daze, but we should also probably not play Snapcaster, because I imagine this is going to be a very low resource game. Yuriko. Oh gosh, is Yuriko going to stay in? I think so, because she can break parity by drawing cards. I think the most natural card to cut is probably some of the Dazes, because we're on the draw and we don't want to be bouncing stuff back to our hand. I'm trying to think if there are other things that Consign can stop other than just countering their Dreadnought. That makes me not want to play it, because we have lots of answers to it. Dismember can kill. I kind of like Dismember here because it's 1 mana and it can kill the. Oh, yeah. And if I'm going to keep Dismember in, Snapcaster seems good. Yeah, I think I'll keep 1 Daze in. Is that right? I'm not going to bring any Consigns in. Not going to bring any Consigns in. Well, actually, Engineered Explosives. Let's see. This kills each non-land permanent with value equal to the number of charge counters. Okay, I think this is good because this can kill Dreadnought and this can kill Tamiyo. So we might be able to get a multi-blowout. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be good. We'll see. But like, I've been in a situation where I've had 3 Dreadnoughts in play at the same time, and my opponent didn't have an Engineered Explosives, and if they had, they would have survived. So I'll use that really, cherry-picked anecdote to justify. Okay, so they have Stifle in their deck. This is double force hand, but this is also a matchup where we don't want to be going down on cards. Baleful Strix is really good. Oh man, I mean, this curbs like their most aggressive. Like if they 2-for-1 themselves, then we can 2-for-1 ourselves to get back out of it. Kaito's really good in the matchup, for sure. I think we probably keep this and then we just get our basic island and we ponder. And we hope that we don't have to use these forces. But I do like the insulation of having them. Also, if they just stifle our first fetch, we're never going to win. Okay. Looks like they're not going to do that, thankfully. But I'm going to get both of my basics as quickly as possible. They're pondering. This is fine. My dream is that we get paired against lands. Because the one time I played Kaito, I played lands. I got to play against lands. And Kaito destroys lands. I think I got that video. I think it's in one of the videos, like it's called like Go Ninja Go or something like that. Ninja Finish, maybe something like that. All right, this is what we want. Daze. Oh my goodness. Do we even want Daze? I do want Tamiyo. I think we don't want Daze. And we do want the land now, and we'll take Tamiyo next turn. We probably actually could take Tamiyo now, so we have another card to pitch to force. But if I had to pitch something to force, it's going to be force. Kaito is so good in the matchup that I'm too scared to use it. This is fine. So we're going to be able to go get a swamp, and we're just going to play our Strix, and they'll probably counter it. Alternatively, we could Tamiyo. I definitely want to go ahead and fetch the swamp around Stifle, though, just in case. Like, a lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, I'm not going to play Stifle, I'm going to play Consign. Stifle is not as good as Consign. I think, yeah, we can just play a Tamiyo now, and then next turn, we can potentially uncounterably Kaito, and we can even protect. This seal's a lot better than playing a Baleful Strix. We'll just let them attack. It's not a big deal. Basics for the win here. I'm not going to block. Thankfully, they haven't made it blue-white ninjutsu planeswalker yet. Actually, if they did, that'd be really sweet. Do we care? I don't think we do. Let's see. This ability. Each opponent who lost life this turn. So, oh, man. I mean, we can attack her. Okay. So we can attack her, then we can +1. And then the next turn, she'll die from combat. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll just plus. Yeah, I'm going to let this happen. At this point, though, I am now priced into forcing if they plow. Because I do need to be able to attack and get ninjutsu. Otherwise, I'll fall behind. My deck is actually really weak to this, and maybe I should have considered forcing that. I did consider it, but I didn't consider it seriously. Yeah, that'll be humiliating if we lose because of that one decision. Okay. All right. No plow yet. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm going to attack. They can stifle this, but they don't have blue up. So this should still be attacking Tamiyo and not... That's my understanding of ninjutsu is the thing you're attacking is still locked in. Okay, yeah, it's still attacking. All right, wow. We're going to plus. Now this is a 4/5, and we'll pass with triple force up in case they have like a card that they don't play. Like, I don't know why people don't play it, but Brazen Borrower is so good, and it's a great answer to this. They minused. Oh, wait, they didn't minus. They just took 3. Yeah. Interesting. Actually, I was like, why does it only have 1 on it? But here's why. Is this a force? I think this is. Because this enables the other stuff to come out. And I will happily, at this point, pitch... Right, Tamiyo? Yeah, I'm going to pitch Tamiyo because even if they do manage to resolve something... I was going to say, why is this at 1 loyalty instead of 2? Okay, so we're down to party here. I'm going to keep the Strix if I can. Okay, and they pitched a force negation there. All right. I hope that cramps your style. They're plussing. So it was the Tamiyo that got the debuff from the other Tamiyo. They're wasting our waste. That's fine. Okay. So now I do want to kill the Tamiyo here. Let's see what I draw. Engineered Explosive does kill it, but I'm going to hold it. Yeah, I'm just going to attack Tamiyo and plus again. Oh, I should have plus first. It doesn't matter because Tamiyo's dead. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to plus and I'm going to keep up a clue activation. Yeah, and now we have force plus clue that might dig us into like a daze or something. Actually, we cut all our dazes. Null Drifter. This is going to resolve. They're going to get 2 cards. If they stifle, then I'll force it. Oh, it's Oculus. Do we force this? I still think we force it. Just because we've got a ton of momentum here. It's going to create blockers. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to force this. This might, if you think this is overly aggressive, let me know. But they can't deploy another one. I'm getting the spinner. Okay, there we go. by Oculus. This is a horrific card to play against Reanimator too. That's another reason not to play it. Sorry, I don't mean to bash it if it's like your pet card right now, but like play Kaito instead. Kaito's a lot better. All right. They're passing and end step. I'm just going to go ahead and crack. Oh, Murderous Cut gives us a lot of insulation. All right. I'm just going to start by attacking. We know this is going to get through because it's hexproof. I mean, what an insane upgrade to Jace the Mind Sculptor. This is so much better than Jace. It's like an uncounterable Jace. I was skeptical at first. I was like, man, 3 mana, like ninjutsu, like how often is that going to be good? Turns out it's really freaking good all the time. I think I don't really need either of these cards. I'd rather find like another force at this point. Let's just draw a card. A fetch would be fine. Snapcaster's fine. It doesn't do anything right now, but once we get another mana, it'll do stuff. Okay, they're surveilling. Yep, I mean, we're keeping up Murderous Cut around Daze. So even if they get like another eye into play somehow, if they cheat like a Null Drifter into play, we can just kill it. They're taking 5 every turn. This doesn't... Oh, this actually is something I can't kill with Murderous Cut. I think it's fine. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to do in step. I think I'm just going to keep going. This is not a card you board in against a fair deck like mine, by the way. They may have thought I would have like Reanimator, but even Reanimator, this doesn't stop. I'm just going to... I could just bounce it out of play and then hit them for 5, but I think it's fine to just let them time walk. Essentially, like I'll get another emblem. They're not blocking. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and surveil here. Yeah, I do want to find another land. Okay, there's a land. Thoughtseize is bad. Let's put it in our graveyard. We'll keep this on top. I'm going to play this out, and I will pass with Snapcaster up. We don't have anything that we can really do with the Snapcaster. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have kept Snapcaster up. I mean, technically, if they attack or something, like if they attack, then I have lethal on the crackback because this is 5+2. Okay, we won. Wow. Haven't lost a game. Ninjas in 2025. It's not yet 25. I'm just getting in the habit because it takes me forever to get used to saying the new year. All right, round 3. We're up against Rosen87, who has pretty recently played Cephalid Breakfast. They may still be on that. It's still a pretty good deck. They also play a lot of tempo-oriented decks. So 2 very different archetypes here. On the play, I think this is fine. If they are on tempo, we're kind of like baiting them to waste their wasteland immediately by firing it at us. I'm going to keep this. It's great. I think we've been on the play all 3 games. All 3 matches. I wish my opponent luck, and then I'll close this because I don't have the real estate to hold up in the chat. All right, let's float this out and pass. We've got Daze up. We've got Brainstorm up. If they're on some crazy turn 0 combo deck, we can potentially Brainstorm to find a second form of interaction. Oh, man. They're on freaking Eldrazi probably. Let me think about this. They could be on Oops. Do I want to blow my removal on this? No. Or my interaction on it. I'm gonna chill. I'll be disappointed if we had to go against Eldrazi again. But wait, did we go against Eldrazi earlier? No. Well, yeah, it is Eldrazi. Okay. Well, I'm gonna waste that. Or maybe I just invest in a Strix, a double Strix. I think I'm just gonna Strix. They have a hard time getting through these. They can kill them, but yeah, I'm gonna build on my board. That's a good rip, a ponder. So they do have removal, but it's usually like, oh, okay. Are they going to hit my land here? Thoughtnaught? I can't counter Thoughtnaught. I'm just going to let it go. Oh my goodness. If I Daze and I use their pedal, but it sets me back a land and I could deploy another Strix next turn. But this pedal and this Daze are like interlinked anyway. I think it's better to just let them take something. They're probably going to take the Strix. And then if we draw into a Kaito, we can win because Kaito is insane. They're probably going to take Strix here. But I am looking forward to wasting them. Okay, Strix it is. Another Strix. Don't mind if I do. Let's go ahead and play it out. And then we can evaluate our options from here. All right, another Delta. I think we do want to waste. I'm going to go and waste first, and then I'll just attack in. Actually, I might as well attack first. Minimize the amount of information I give them. They do use their life total as a resource. We've got an abundance of lands, so it's not the worst if they do Sowing Mycospawn. We can Daze one of the lands back to our hand. Actually, we can only, if they Sowing Mycospawn targeting this, we can't. I would love for them to start wasting us. Okay, that's fine. We've got plenty of land. Okay, now we've got basics. Maybe we invite them to continue to waste us. I'm going to go ahead and play this out, and I'm going to ponder first. Actually, yeah, there's the fatal push that we wanted. Damn, that was a bad play. Okay, I'm going to Thoughtseize them, and then I will hold up fatal push for the subsequent turn. Yeah, I don't need that second Daze. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize here. Okay, double Mycospawn and Kozilek's Command. Okay, so I think Blast Zone can actually kill both of them, which is unfortunate. Let's see. Let's do some math here. So Kozilek's Command can create spawns and can exile one of our Strixen. Blast Zone can, let's see, they have 1, 2, 3. They do have enough mana in 2 turns to blow up our Strix. They do have the ability to spawn this turn, but we would be able to counter it. If they wait, they can spawn. I think the plan is stop the Kozilek's commands. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Kozilek's command is so powerful. Also, they can do it this turn if they just wanted to cycle it or something like that. All right, so we're going to do this. Next turn, we're drawing Fatal Push for the Thoughtnauts here. I'm not worried about the bodies. I'm worried about the actual triggers. They can't really do it now because I can just counter it. They have to wait a turn. Or they could just let me freaking do it. They're going to let me counter it and they're going to go get something. All right. I'm going to go ahead and Daze. Wait, I sometimes my opponent makes a mistake and they grab a Wasteland and then they waste with the Sowing Mycospawn still on the stack. I want to see if they do that. Okay, they didn't make that mistake. Do I care about this body enough to get rid of it? The next eye is going to have Kicker. I think I want to wait for that. And then I can Daze with the Kicker on the stack just to get it out of harm's way. If they attack, I will 100% trade, but they're not going to attack. Right. So I'm going to start by brainstorming here because I want to put this Daze away. And then what I can do is I can fetch and then I can kick and then I'll draw a card. Okay, so I actually think we keep the Wasteland here because Wasteland hits eye. That's pretty good. Or we could cut them off green. I think we have to hit the eye. I'm going to put these two back because I think after I hit the eye, there's a decent chance I will be able to Daze subsequent spells. No, I don't need both Dazes. I think I do need lands here. I'm actually going to have to redraw it because of the way it's sequenced. I'm going to actually have to redraw both of these. I could swing with both, and then they swing back with the Sowing Mycospawn. I think reducing their life total is fine. I don't care about taking 3. I'd much rather do damage to them in case they rely on Ancient Tomb later. There's no reason to... Oh, yeah, there is a reason because I won't have Revolt next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this now. We get our card. We have double Daze up, which doesn't matter because we can only Daze one time. So their hand is Sowing Mycospawn and Blast Zone. No longer Blast Zone, so one unknown. Glaring Fleshraker. It is counterable, but they can just tap this. So yeah, unfortunately that is going to work. Okay. They're going to attack for 3. Now I might want to start not attacking anymore. Yeah, this sucks. We can get our Surveil land here. We have double Daze up. I think I'm just going to... If I can attack with one and then they won't want to attack with either one unless they blow the... And if they're going to blow this, then they're going to blow it anyway. So I'll just attack with one. I doubt they're going to play around double Daze. Okay, this is a double Daze situation if I've ever seen one. So we're going to start by boom, black, blue, Daze. And we're going to make them pay before they get the counter. You cannot have two of these on the table at the same time. It is too dangerous. Now we're going to go ahead and Daze again. Bounce this back to hand. It's countered. They do get the spawn. They're welcome to attack in. I'll happily trade at this point. Okay, and they are going for it. So we're going to go ahead and block here because this just reduces the amount of damage that a Blast Zone will eventually do if they blow them both up. I really want a Brainstorm, but I do have another fetch in my hand. So if I find a Brainstorm, it'll be okay. Now we're looking for Kaito for sure. Kaito would be the best draw in our deck. Force is too slow. Kaito, please. All right, Murderous Cut is good because it hits this. I think I'm going to play out my basic here. Yeah, I think I just need to go ahead and cut this now. There's no reason to pretend I have more stuff going on. I'll just cut with more of my graveyard. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of some of these lands if they have like endurance or something. We don't want to redraw them. Okay, and now we can attack for one. They don't have a Reality Smasher in the deck anymore, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about hasty beats. All right, they've got two cards in hand. They are definitely in a better state than we are. However, if we do find Kaito, we'll be very happy. Good Cavern. I'm glad I ditched that Force now. They can kicker us, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can't kicker. They can go get a Wasteland and exile one of these, though. What is this? Oh, it's just, yeah, it's with kicker. Yep, I can't do anything if they want to waste. But this is not that big of a deal because I have like a lot more land coming. It does mean that Kaito won't work next turn if they do grab the Wasteland. Yeah, and they're grabbing the Wasteland. I'm actually running kind of low on lands in my deck. So even though I have this fetch, I'm not sure how many more lands there are to fetch. I'm going to fetch probably next turn just to see. Okay, Snapcaster is good. I'm going to play this out. And I'm going to chill. No, wait, I'm going to attack with Strix because there's no way that I'm throwing this material away and blocking, so I might as well attack. Snapcaster, I believe you can delve on the Murderous Cut. I've never tried. Let's see. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. The One Ring. Brutal. We can't bring anything back. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, now I'm glad I attacked them because at least it's like a little less life that they have. Unfortunately, this Wasteland is definitely going to hit me. I don't think we're winning this game. Yeah. Let's go ahead and draw and see what we get. Fatal Push. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what we want to do here. I think we just want to snap and ponder. Yeah, I do have to fetch here. Okay, I do have a few more lands left. That's good. I'm going to lose one next turn, almost certainly. We're going to snap, and then we're going to ponder. And ideally, we want our ponder to show us a land and a Kaito, because they're going to probably waste us here. Okay, there's a Kaito. There's no land. I don't think this works. I'm going to shuffle. All right, Strix is fine. They do have the ability to blow these up, but they may do it like, and then I just play another one because they don't know. They might spend a turn instead of casting insane bombs, just like juicing this up. I do think that if they attack, I block now. Minimize the amount of life loss. Yep, as expected. See, if I kept Kaito and kept that pile, we would have been dead. As badly as I wanted Kaito, I knew it wasn't going to happen. Okay, they're drawing two cards. Thoughteize here would be pretty bad. Okay, please do damage to yourself with Tomb. Just get greedy and do a lot of damage to yourself. I'm going to have a very defensive posture here. Are they going to exile the rest of my lands? Yep, they're going to exile the rest of my lands. Okay. How many lands did they work their way through this game? Like 6? And it is correct to just take me off lands completely. Also, they can tap this for green. So, yeah. I can't imagine a world in which we're still alive. But I am going to block here if they attack. We have 1 land left in our entire deck. And then we have Wastelands. Kaito. I mean, yeah, we wouldn't have got there. Basically, we just have to hope their ring kills them before they kill us. Which is unlikely. And they can just stop tapping it if they want to. If they have the win. I guess they're not going to do that. I'm sure that they can find a win, but I'm going to make them. I'm going to F6 here. It is giving up some information, but I think clock might be relevant here. There's the Fleshwrecker. They can just burn us out now if they have a Causeless Command. They've got so much mana. Guy's Cradle. Okay. These are a combo. The reason I'm not blocking here is next turn I can basically keep them from attacking with Glaring Fleshwrecker. Okay, we found a land. I think what we need to do is we do need to Fatal Push this because it's just going to generate so much mana for them. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't want them. They may already have like the, yeah, I mean like our best bet is them running out of life with this. This is our last land and our last hope at doing anything. Nothing else in our deck is castable. We might as well do this. And I don't want to give them another turn to draw a Causeless Command because they can just kill me straight up with the Causeless Command. Actually, I think this is an attack turn. And then next turn, we will block. But I can't imagine they don't put out enough attackers to kill us here. So I'm just going to F6. They're at 5. Now, with their current deck configure... Oh, wow, they're going to 1 next turn? They have to kill us now. Maze of Ith. That doesn't matter. I guess that does mean they can attack with impunity now. But it looks like another Sowing Mycospawns is coming. With Kicker. We do have Wasteland to draw to. That's like literally... I think we still have like 2 Wastelands in our deck. There's Devourer. Okay, so we're dead. It's just deterministic unless they do some mistake where they kill themselves. There's no way we can draw both like, Bowmaster and land in a turn cycle. Wait, we could draw Tamiyo. That wouldn't help though. I'm going to go ahead and ponder just to see what we would have potentially gotten here. We're done. Good games. I'm not going to make them use up their time. Okay. So that was a very long game 1. It was almost 30 minutes. See, 25 minutes to start. So yeah, it was like 22-minute game 1. We do have a lot of anti-Eldrazi tech here. Just going to board these in. I am fully expecting them to have Chalice of the Void, even though we didn't see it. Harbinger comes in. Dismember comes in, I think. I think Engineered Explosives does carry some weight because it can blow up Chalice and it can also kill spawn tokens and stuff like that. Like it's marginal, but I think it's good. So cards that I don't think will be very good here. Daze is not a great card against them in general. I think we can cut it because we're going to need to be playing our lands out really aggressively. Spell Pierce is pretty terrible. Like it only stops Causeless Command and Chalice of the Void. I don't think there are any other cards in their deck that it interacts with. Bowmasters is good because they're playing the One Ring and it generates chump blockers. Thoughtseize is normally pretty bad against an aggro deck, but their deck is so thin on win cons that I think we keep it in on the play. We need to make 2 more cuts. I think Brazen Borrower is the cut. And my reasoning is just Borrower, and I've said this probably every time I boarded out against Eldrazi, Borrower does not actually answer. Do we want to bring this in? I'm kind of thinking we want to bring this in. It is interaction. It stops Chalice. It stops K-Command. Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than Spell Pierce because we're not going to be holding up mana. We're going to be like basically tapping out every turn. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, but all I was going to say about Borrower is like, because every Eldrazi comes with its own enter the battlefield trigger or cast trigger, more likely, there's no benefit to bouncing things back to their hand. The only thing that you could bounce back to hand would be a Glaring Fleshraker, and they would probably just recast it. Okay, so let's take a look. I mean, this hand's not terrible. This doesn't have an answer to Chalice. I like the Wasteland. I like the abundance of lands. You can't be too picky against them. I think what we do is we just Island Ponder. Yep, I'm going to do that. And then Baleful Strix is good against them. It's just very passive. We're going to try to set up a Kaito. I think Kaito will be a house against them. And I do think we Ponder instead of just Surveilling, because we're going to want to get our non-basics or our basics into play, even though they can be exiled. I know they can be exiled. It's still, don't give up hope. Don't think that it's a futile effort to get some basics under you. All right, let's fish our island, and let's see what Ponder gives us. More lands, more Wastelands. I don't know that we can afford to just hang back forever with Wasteland. I mean, technically, they thought really hard about their keep, so maybe they are land light. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take this. This is a path to our basic swamp. I think I'm going to stack like this, and I will take the Wasteland. And then next turn, we'll fetch and we'll deploy the Baleful Strix almost certainly. But if they deploy... Okay, that's a great card, because that means that they can't... we can just waste. And then we can hold up the Brainstorm. And I guess I'll just draw more lands, because I think we need to get this out of play. Oh no. Are they going to pedal into a Glaring Fleshraker? That would be pretty devastating. Yeah. In my humble opinion, you just have to kill this, because it like enables really busted turn 2s. All right, and we will Brainstorm aggressively to get it out of our hand, because it is 1-drop, and we do expect they're playing Chalice. Okay, there's a basic waste. All right, end step, I'm going to Brainstorm. Okay, I think we can put back... I'm going to put back the C. I'm going to put this back too. We'll redraw it, and then we're going to go fetch a swamp, and we're going to deploy the Strix. The first of several. And I am still going to go ahead and fetch basics, because there's a possibility that they have like Wasteland in hand. Force would be great. Yeah, it's not terrible. All right. Kaito is the best top deck possible. Okay, Tomb. It did Herald's the End. Not a big deal. All right, I'm going to waste that Tomb. Unless I draw Kaito. Go ahead and hit it. I'm going to go ahead and just do this now. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it now. And my reasoning is we want to keep their material to a minimum. I really do think like if they just rip, it's catastrophic, right? I'm going to use the Brainstorm. Okay, I was hoping to find something else, but we don't ever want to draw this. We'll put this back. We'll draw it next turn. We'll put this back. We'll draw it next turn. Yeah, just in case they thought Nazi or... Okay, and we can't do anything. Like, I was hoping to deploy that Strix, but there wasn't... We couldn't get these 1-drops out of our hand. Okay, so now they could drop Chalice and it'd be devastating. Okay, just another If That Heralds the End. That's fine. That's not fine if they start doing stuff, though. Did I shuffle a... Did I use 2 Wastelands? Okay. Yeah, because I was like, okay, good. I want to make sure I didn't accidentally shuffle one away. That would have been a huge misplay. All right. So now these are 3/3. They buff each other. So that is something to consider. Might want to stop attacking. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle here. I'm really looking for... I mean, we could just, play a Bowmaster and it'll trade with one of them. But I don't know if that's good enough. Let's see. We know one of the top cards is land. I think I'm going to Brainstorm because we have the ability to put some of these back. Okay, Kaito. That's what we're looking for. And a Force. So I'm going to put the Sewer back. And I'm going to put one of these Ponders back. Now I'm going to play that. Oops, don't want to play that. I think we could just go ahead and play out the Strix. That way we're basically ensuring we have a Strix next turn for Kaito. Oh, we may not have land now, though. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That was a bad play. All right. Just going to play it. And we're going to draw. That's a great card. We'll have to cast it later, though. If they attack and I trade with one of them, yeah, I'm not sure if this is correct because like it's possible that they clear the way and then we take 6 damage instead of just taking 3. That'd be embarrassing. Yeah, I'm not sure that my play is correct here. I'm pretty sure that they're inclined to waste me here. Cradle is great for them. This is a force if I've ever seen one. My goodness. Let's get this Brainstorm out of our hand. And now I think they probably do waste, which does sadly shut off our ability to Kaito next turn. Yep. Yeah, I think that was a misplay on my part. They're not attacking. Okay, that's good. All right, double consign up. I do want to find a land now. All right, we found land. We found another Strix. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of drawing that Strix. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold up consign here, and I'm just going to keep these back. Because once Kaito arrives, he's going to do a lot of damage. If they have Cavern, that'll be sad. Okay, this is pretty good. All right, I'm just going to counter this. Yeah, I think it's as simple as that. We're just going to counter it. There's not a reason to... Yeah, I'll just cast without the replicate since I'm low on time. We've got to win 2 games in 8 minutes. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Okay. All right, no attacks. Yeah, they can just run us out of time, basically. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to attack. Okay, now we're going to Kaito. Blue. Black. Kaito. Bounce this back to our hand. Ninjutsu. This is hitting for 3. They can technically maze it now. Oh, wait, they can't maze it. All right, I think we want to go ahead and surveil because we want to find a land here. Okay, we found a land. Fatal Push is good too. I think we just... Yeah, we had to put it in our graveyard. And then, because we want to draw this. Okay, we can play it. And we can pass with a consign up. I think they're likely to double crash in toward Kaito here. It is a bummer that we're probably going to run out of time because we're doing pretty well here. Yeah, the Shroud just laughs in the face of Mazevith. I completely forgot about that. Okay. They are going to do their thing here. Oh, they're not? Sowing Mycospawns, uncounterable. Oh, Devourer of Destiny. Well, I can't counter that, but I am going to counter the trigger. Because I don't want my Kaito exiled. Okay, you've got a giant beater. Right, do you want to swing in and try to kill my Kaito? No. They got an 8/8. Wow. I'm not sure how we get through that. We can stun it and attack in. But then Kaito's super vulnerable. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and just attack here for 3. I don't really want to cast this Thoughtseize. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this first. Strix. Draw trigger. Now we've got double blockers up. Okay, Delta is good. Do I want to Thoughtseize him? Do I want to do anything? I think not. Actually, I will Thoughtseize the last card out of their hand. Just in case it is another Devourer. That would be bad. Okay, yeah. Happily take that Mycospawn. And I think we just pass and we have Bowmaster to hit him. And we're probably going to start plussing Kaito to do more damage here. Another Devourer. Unfortunately, I think this is the game. Yeah, I can't stop it. Gosh. And they've got double 8/8 Devourer. Like, Murderous Cut won't get me far enough. I could rip another Kaito. I'm going to stay in the game. I'm just going to pretend that there's a chance that I can win here. We're about to create a couple chump blockers here. Yeah, we'll see how this game goes. I don't want to scoop it up just because I don't think there's enough time to win game 3, but I'm still going to give it a try. Okay, so let's go ahead and ponder first. See what we find. We can always flip a Tamiyo. Harbinger is not good enough. Too little, too late. There we go. Let's go ahead and attack with both of our Strixen, and then we can stun this. Actually, Yeah, I'm going to go to attack with both of these. I think they're likely to untap one. If they don't untap one, that could be a problem. Boom, boom. Kaito. Mouse this back. Okay. They're taking 3 here. Taking 4. I mean, they are fairly low. Yeah, they can do that to that, but this now I have a blocker for Kaito. I think we just have to play this out, and then I can flip her and plus her. And that does debuff their squad. Let me think if that's the correct play. Because we have this ability. We could just stun this. Yeah, I think we just stun this. Okay. Next turn, if they attack in, we can potentially Alpha Strike them. Because I can block with Tamiyo, I can block with Orc Army, and then swing with a whole lot. Unless they have just like a giant, what do they have? They never draw land, they always draw gas. Oh, this is actually fine. Oh, they just did it on 1? I think that's a mistake. They could have done it on 2 and prevented me from playing out the Strix. I don't think they really care because they know that I don't have time to win. They're both attacking Kaito. So let's think about this. We just block here, double attack, buff that, and they're dead. Yeah, so they kind of give us the win here. Yeah, I think it's deterministic. Oh wait, this is only 3? Yeah, it's not deterministic. I got above ahead of my britches. If we can find another Bowmasters, we can win. Let's go ahead and see what we find off this. If we find Bowmasters, that's good. Not sure. Oh wait, I can just waste the Mazevith and then I can win. Okay, let's do that and let's win. Plus, now we can attack for 5. Oh wait, is that only 5 that we're attacking for? No, it's 6. Yeah, let's go to combat. Attack with all creatures. That's 6 exactly. Okay, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to win this last game. There's no way we're doing it. This deck does not win quickly. It's a control deck. I'm going to try, though. All right, I'm seriously considering just taking out all the slow cards and just bringing in everything really fast. Borrower. Gosh, Borrower is not good, though. I am on the draw here, so Daze is even worse. Plague Engineer is just like, when are we going to cast that? I do think Snap comes in. Thoughtseize has come out. Thoughtseize is actually like a way that we can punch a hole potentially. If they Chalice, I think I just scoop because I just think it's extremely unlikely that we win with the Chalice out. Snapcaster can attack for damage. Brazen Borrower attacks for damage, but it costs so much mana. Maybe, okay, so we're going to bring in the Borrowers. We're going to take out the Snapcaster because Borrower can bounce Chalice out and maybe clear a path for an Alpha Strike. I think at least one of the Thoughtseizes comes out. I think I'm going to take both Thoughtseizes out. I'm going to bring in a Daze because I just don't want to be doing damage to myself. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I'm just panicking here because I've got like 3 minutes and the previous 2 games took like more than 10 minutes each, 20 minutes each maybe. A lot of that is, of course, because I'm a slow player, and I happily admit that. You can like call me out in the comments. Like, I win a lot more games by slowing down and think. This is a keep. This does not answer a lot of things. This doesn't answer turn 1 Chalice, but this is a consign hand that leads into interaction. Yeah, I'm going to keep up consign here, and I'm going to hope to stuff their first big play. And if they don't have a good big play, I'll do the in-step Brainstorm. I'm not going to play on basics. I will Fatal Push if they put out the Flesh Raker. Actually, I don't have to because it's not counterable. I'm going to go ahead and cast this just because I want to not have to hold up mana. Strix is great. Let's play it. Dig deeper and hopefully dig into Kaito, who is one card that will potentially help me win. I've now got Daze up, even though I probably won't be able to counter anything. Okay, no game actions at all. So this sounds like Kozilek's Command, which I'm going to happily Daze here. All right, we'll play that out. I am going to go ahead and Brainstorm some of these cantrips away. Quadruple Force. We need to be quick. I think Force Negation's out, and I'm going to pitch. I'm going to get rid of this Fatal Push. I'm not sure if that's reckless. And I'm going to pass. End step, I'll just put in the Bowmaster. I'm going to do some damage here. Our opponent has the luxury of taking as much time as they want here. So if they want to psych me out and make me just sit here for like 3 or 4 minutes, they can do that. Here's the Kozilek's command. Probably trying to exile this. Maybe being thoughtful and exiling it around Daze. That's the only thing they could be doing here. 1, 2. Oh, once upon a time. I can actually Daze this. I think I am. No, wait. I can't. Never mind. I'm going to force it just so I don't have to think. Because it's one of the things I can force. Thoughtseizes here. Uncounterable. I'm going to go ahead and put my Bowmaster in play. I could have Brainstormed no, not with the mana I'm currently presenting. Never mind. All right. I'm going to probably be a little bit quiet while I play because I'm down to 2 minutes. I'm just going to shut off my mic and I'll tell you what happened. I'm turning my mic back on. I've got Yuriko. I want to capture this on film. My editing software cuts out anything when I'm silent. So I want to be sure to capture this moment when I'm about to Yuriko, bringing my Orcish Bowmasters back to hand. 1 minute 53 seconds on the clock. If they attempt to K command, I will just force it. If they attempt to dismember, they're giving me something I can force, which is fine. I'm not going to fall for the Eye of Ugin being able to tap for Yavimaya trick. I'm just going to force this. All right. Forced. Let's go ahead and put her in. Black. Yuriko. Bring this back. Okay, trigger. Flip like a force or something really good. Come on. Force negation. Not terrible. All right, let's pass. I'm just going to F6 through the turn. They're at 11. Tomb. My heart is freaking racing. They're not attacking. Okay. Ponder here. Let's go find a removal spell. 2 cards in our opponent's hand. Any order shuffle. Wasteland. I'm just going to attack everything. I don't have the luxury of waiting around. They can block and just take 3 if they want. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and ping them with this. Yuriko was good for like basically 5 extra damage if you count the Bowmaster. I'm just going to go ahead and hit their eye so they can't search for stuff. We're going to F6. They're at 6. They can no longer attack, but we need another Bowmaster if we're going to be able to get across the line here. 50 seconds on the clock. Once upon a time, they can almost certainly find something to win here. I'm just doing my best. I feel like without the time pressure, I would have grabbed that Ponder instead of shuffled it away, just so I could get like an extra look. Maybe even, yeah. If we draw, what's his name? Kaito, we can still win. Eldrazi Temple, okay. What do they have? Do they have Devour? They're not attacking, that would be Suicide. Okay, I'm just going to play this out, and I'm going to attack in the air, and I'm going to pass. I'm F6'd. 42 seconds on the clock. They start to tap mana, I can like on F6 and potentially force negation something, but another eye. They can search for things. That is something I can't interact with. Let's see. Okay, they're hitting that, which is fine. I could just hit them in the air, and then this comes down. This doesn't really affect things too much. We're going to swing for 2 in the air, and then we just need to do this one more time. F6. F6 through their turn. They do have colored mana now. They only have 1 land, though. We got the win. F6. They can't stop all this. I need it on F6 now, just in case they try to do something. I don't think they can. Oh, my heart. My poor heart. I did not think there was even a prayer that I could win that. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad I turned the mic back on. Yuriko did her thing. Every point of damage mattered there. I think we had another turn cycle. If they had attacked, they wouldn't have been able to kill us. They would have been able to do 10. We would have had 1 life. We had Murderous Cut. We could have gotten rid of one of them, but all of that stuff, of course, contingent on us having more time. Wow. I'm going to take a quick walk around the block, cool down, and then we're going to be back. We are 3-0. All right. Round 4. We're 3-0. We're up against Urgaspo. They are likely on Teamer Cascade. Interesting. Well, on the draw, I don't think we keep this because we're just going to die if they're on Cascade. This is a perfectly serviceable hand, but I'm genuinely afraid that they're on Cascade. Let's take a look at their history. They were playing Cascade and it was bad because of Vexing Ball 1. Now it's good again. I'm going to mull. I know that it sounds crazy to mull a hand like this, but I'm pretty confident they're on it. This seems better. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. If they're on Teamer Cascade, I mean, they don't really have a lot of draw abilities. Bowmaster is pretty terrible against them. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold up double Daze. There's a chance that they do have it like really early. Okay, Island. Yeah, and I'll look like a dum-dum if they're not on it, but if they are, okay, I think we get Tamiyo out, and yeah, if they're on Teamer Cascade, they might Fury this, forcing it. Okay, that's fine. Shardless Agent, yeah, they're on Cascade. I was right. I would be totally dead if I hadn't. Okay, great. Okay, Spell Pierce is precisely the kind of card we want here. So I can fetch my Surveil land. We'll see what happens, but I like having Double Daze and Spell Pierce up. Oh, they don't have a third land? Well, I think I'm supposed to chill and then go ahead and waste them first. Okay, another Delta. We can go get the... yeah, now I can go get my Swamp. I think I'm going to do that. And then what we can do next turn is we can waste them. But what I want to be able to do is Brainstorm and probably put these Dazes back. Okay, that's a great wasteland target. They may need their land more than I do at this point, so I am kind of thinking about just going ahead and... They've been a borrower, yep. They can't play spells that are cheap, so... Right, instead, I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm. Do I want to Brainstorm? I might actually just keep my hand as it is, because if I waste here... Yeah, I'm going to wait one more turn cycle. Okay, Murderous Cut doesn't do a lot here. I don't think they're likely to have anything to interact here. I'm just going to go ahead and hit it now, and we'll pass. They don't have a lot of information about what we're on. I do want to get rid of this Murderous Cut. I think it's fine. I'm going to go get a Swamp here. Okay, this is great. We can Thoughtseize them. That is really freaking strong. And I think Bowmasters can go back. I don't think it does a lot here. I mean, it is a clock. Baleful Strix is also a clock, though. Yeah, I think we can put the... I think we need to keep the Dazes. We could just redraw the Bowmaster. Yeah, I think it's probably fine. I'll just redraw it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get my Swamp. And I'm going to Thoughtseize. And we'll see what they're working with over there. Okay. Minsk and Boo. Crashing Footfalls is a terrible card. If they suspend it, I can just counter it when it comes down, probably. I think we take... They were one turn away from Shardless Agenting here. And that can't be countered easily. I think what we have to do here is probably take Shardless Agent. And then we can pierce the Violent Outburst. And then we can Daze their force on Violent Outburst. And if they don't do anything in step, I think I do go ahead and deploy the Bowmaster. But yeah, we'll see what they draw. They have the mana. They don't currently have any Spirit Guides. They do have a really strong hand if they find mana, though. I definitely am in the market for some more Wastelands. Okay, so I think we can safely Bowmaster here and just start hitting them. And I don't think they're going to waste us here. I think that'd be not correct. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get this on the table. And if they waste us, that is totally fine with me. If they force this, that is also fine. I'm happy to get 2 cards out of their hand. They did force Tamiyo earlier, so maybe they will force any action from our side of the table. I think that's fine. Are they going to waste us? No. Okay. Right, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and blue-black. And we're going to Strix first, see what we draw. Okay. I think we don't play out the Wasteland yet. We can play it out later. I want to actually hit a land, and then maybe they'll like fetch a Surveil or something. So the cards that they've exiled is Force of Negation, so we can check that off their hand. By all means, waste me. So I'm getting some lag in my UI for some reason. Okay, they just conceded. Wow. Yeah, this is a weird sequence. Okay, so Engineered Explosives blows up the things pretty cleanly. Grafdigger's Cage. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or library. So you exile the card and then you cast it. So that doesn't stop that. Plague Engineer, I don't think is good here. I think Force Negation is good. Consigned Memory can stop the Cascade trigger. I think we board all those in. Hydroblast is quite good. I think we board that in. Okay, so what are we not boarding in? Okay, so now what I think is not good. I don't think Daze are good on the draw because they have so much counter magic and they also have Spirit Guides. I think we could take these out. And then we take all the Fatal Pushes out. I think we take Murderous Cut out. We're just going to hope that... Borrower's kind of removal on its own. Oh, we only have 4 removal spells, so we need to make 1 more cut. Thoughtseize stays in. Does it? I'm actually not sure that Thoughtseize stays in because they are an aggro deck. Technically, they're hitting you really hard. Our Baleful Strix do trade with their creatures, but it's not like a great trade. Yeah, I feel like we do want to take Thoughtseize or keep Thoughtseize in. I'm really torn as to the cut. I think Bowmasters is pretty weak against them, but they do play cards like Fourth Aerolingus or Lauren Revealed. And this also does help against Minskin Boo. Yeah, I think we take out the... probably take out a Bowmaster. Yeah, I'm going to take out a Bowmaster. Let's submit. So I've got plenty of blue cards. My deck's almost completely blue. We only need to stop so many Cascade triggers. Consign is really good against this deck. I guess we could have brought in Harbinger. Maybe we bring it in on the play if we lose. I mean, this is a force hand with Thoughtseize, Wasteland, lots of lands. I think this is a keep. Okay, Thundering Falls. I'm just going to waste that. They kept... I kind of want to keep up Hydroblast. No, we definitely want to... Okay, so I'm afraid that they're going to waste us if we go fetch our duel. I'm also afraid that they could play... Yeah, I think I'm going to hold up 3 points of interaction with Thoughtseize later because I need to be sure to grab a blue source. If they have Magus of the Moon, which they may very well have, or even straight up Blood Moon, then we have Borrower to at least get 1 use out of our cards. I am interested in a Surveil here. It is possible... Well, yeah, I think I'm going to Surveil now because usually they play around Force of Negation. Tamiyo is a blue card. I think she's not bad. Okay, they're going for it. Oh, Ice. Okay, they draw a card. That mana goes away. I'm going to wait a turn to play a Tamiyo here. I definitely would have Thoughtseize there if I had the opportunity. Oh my goodness. What do we do here? If we Thoughtseize, they're tapped out. Then we had to force... we're not going to have a blue source if we Thoughtseize. Yeah, that was a really good play. If I hadn't gotten greedy and used the Surveil land there, it wouldn't have actually mattered. They would have just... if they'd done the fetch, then I could have... if I had waited, yeah. I think we wait. There's a decent chance that we're dead here if they have the Cascade guy. Wasteland. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we're not going to make the same mistake we made last turn. We're going to go ahead and go to draw. Okay, they're being very patient and they're not doing the violent outburst thing against us. I think I am going to go ahead and just hit their land here. All right, and we're going to chill because, again, I want to wait till we draw a little more land. We could just Island Tamiyo here. And then they're likely to abrupt or do the Violent Outburst during our turn. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get Tamiyo going so at least we have something going. And maybe this will elicit interaction from them, like a Fury or something. A Force. Mystical Dispute. We got that out of their hand. I'm glad we did that. I don't care about Tamiyo. All I care about is stopping their Haymaker. Okay, they have another land. We're just in the waiting room for our own land. All right. Let's crack this baby open. Okay. They don't have a Cascade, but they can go as soon as they find one. Endurance is not a great card against us. I don't care about it at all. They probably think we're like some graveyard strategy because they didn't have the patience to like see what we were doing. Brazen Borrower doesn't matter. We can easily shoot that out of the sky. I think it's Force. They can technically hardcast Force of Negation, but I don't care about that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And we're going to pass. And if they decide to play out the Endurance, we actually don't have any removal on our deck for that. I guess I could have played into the narrative of us having graveyard-related stuff, but like literally nothing on our deck cares about graveyard. They're getting green source here, so they can Endurance next turn if they want. We can just borrow it back, but then they can just recast it. We do have one card that cares about our graveyard in the deck, and that's Snapcaster, but that's like so marginal. They've got their land now, but importantly, they don't have any red sources, so if they're doing the Violent Outburst thing, it's not going to work here. Right. Oh, Kaito is great. So what I think we have to do here is probably just end step Bowmasters, just to do something. And if they Endurance here and attack, that's totally fine with me if they want to get aggro. I'm trying to think of how this blows up in our face in the instep. They can't Violent Outburst unless they've also drawn a red attacker. If we draw a land, we've got Kaito, even if they block, and we can just stun the Endurance. Okay, Ponder is pretty good here. I'm trying to think of a reason not to Ponder first. I think we do go ahead and Ponder first. I'm just looking for land here, really. I mean, that's a land, a Consign, and a... so we don't need a second Hydroblast. Consign stops their combo. I think we just want the land. Let's see. I like having a third point of interaction. I think we can wait a turn. Yeah, I'm going to take the Consign now, just in case they do something that I can't stop with Hydroblast. And I'm not going to attack into the obvious Endurance. We'll see if they play it out. Next turn we have Kaito. We can stun the Endurance unless they bring it in instep, in which case they can attack down our Kaito. Well, it's got 4 loyalty, so it would survive. It's fine. I don't care about the ability. You've got a creature. And if you attack in, I will happily let you through. Okay. They could have another one. They do have Brazen Borrower in hand, but Kaito has hexproof when it's not a Planeswalker, so they could do it after it connected, but by then it will have already stunned this. They could instep it. All right, let's play this out. No reason not to just go ahead and fetch now. At this point, I think I do bounce the army instead of the Bowmaster itself. They can't counter this. They're taking some damage here. We have tapped out of a lot of our interaction. They can borrow once he's merely a mortal or a normal Planeswalker. Once he loses Shroud. He doesn't have Shroud all the time, right? Our opponent just gave us the benefit of the doubt that we had so much disruption, and they scooped. We're 4-0. Let's go to the final round. We've only lost one game. That one to the Eldrazi. This has been an amazing run. NINJAS is back. I love this. All right. Round 5. We're 4-0. We're up against a likely Stompy player. Let's look at some of their recent lists. Gruul, Stompy. This is from a few months ago. Mono Red Prison. I think this is a Blood Moon matchup, and I do not like to keep these kinds of hands on the draw. Like, this would be really solid if they don't open Blood Moon, but we can't even really cast our stuff anyway. This is a 3-drop. And we're not, yeah. So I think this is a mull. They have opted to keep, I believe, looking at their hand. Let's see, show game log. They're keeping. I'm going to wish them luck. They wished me luck too. They were even faster at it. Shout out to you, Daddy Andy, for Dandy Andy. I thought it was Daddy Andy. Dandy is a good adjective. All right, this does have a path to an island. I don't like it. I need basics or path to basics or turn 0 interaction. We got there. Okay, this is great. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep this. Brazen Borrower can like potentially bin a Mox or something like that. It can potentially connect if they're doing initiative stuff. It's slow. I think that's the pitch. Oh man, I don't want to put back Kaito, but I think it's correct. Kaito takes a while. Tamiyo's great, but only when you have enough lands. So we'll see if we have to burn our force immediately. If we have to burn our force on a ponder, at least we'll have Tamiyo to hopefully bring us back into the game. But they have 7 cards to our 5. City. Mox. So we have to basically just aim force at the first haymaker of the drop here. Okay, they put a bolt land behind it. Here's the Blood Moon. This is precisely what I was telling you. You cannot rely. So now we hope they're stalled out and we hope our Tamiyo gets some value and draw. Like, we have to play to Tamiyo getting us somewhere. Spell Pierce is a good pickup. I think they are just as likely to slam something really good next turn, like a creature. I think we take a turn off from Tamiyo just in case, though. Especially if they legend ruled their land, then, you know, this could really matter. If they just have another Blood Moon, like, I'll be so glad I kept this. If they have like a Pyrogoyf or something like that, I'll be just like, oh. Okay, they are legend ruling their land. They're floating. I am so glad. This is what we call discipline. Like, you know, a while back I would have been like, it's probably fine, you know, but like, I'm no longer, sir. I am a freaking paranoid person. Playing against these types of decks has made me a different person who is like, lives in fear. Okay, don't have a countermeasure. Don't have a freaking Simian Spirit Guide. If they have Simian Spirit Guide, the game's probably over. Hopefully they're like, yeah, this was my last spell. All right, now Tamiyo can come out. Except Bowmasters. Do we want Bowmasters instead? I think we want Tamiyo. No, I'm going to play the Bowmasters. I'm going to start chipping away at their life. Tamiyo can draw us back in later. I'm getting some lag. Okay, good. I was hoping, I was afraid they might be conceding. No, I've had too many concessions today. I want to actually play this out and feel like I earned this. I'm probably not going to earn it. I always choke in the 5th round when I'm 4-0. But hopefully by voicing that, I will be doing the opposite of manifesting it. Also, if they do like One Ring again, at least this will be like some element of surprise. But knowing them, they'll probably have, knowing the deck, the archetype of Moon Stompy. Oh, wow, they're going even deeper. Hopefully this is like an initiative creature. That would be so sweet because I could just take the initiative and go get my swamp. If this is another One Ring, at least my Bowmaster's going to get kind of big. You have to find the silver lining. This Pyrogoyf is not the scariest right now. It's still pretty big, but I don't think we can race it, but we can, you know, double chump it or chump it several consecutive turns. Okay, they put a Magus underneath it. Another One Ring. We're going to go ahead and ping them, and then sadly this is going to resolve. All right. Hellbent with the ring. They've got Pro. They are waiting for some reason, not drawing yet. That's fine. Wasteland is pretty clutch here to slow them. Yeah, I mean, sadly, I think we do it. We need momentum. And then I'm just going to play on my last card. Cards on the table. You made me have to play this way. This is not how I like to play. I am a control gamer. I am not an aggro player. Oh, they didn't even use it? That's crazy to me. Why wouldn't you use your ring? I know that I've got a Bowmasters on the table, but it's not that big of a deal. Maybe they're like, oh, I've got a whole bunch of dead gons, and I'll just get rid of this, and then I'll start doing it. That's legit if that's what they're doing. Or if they have like volcanic fallout or something like that. I don't know. Okay, they're using it now. And now we do get the sweet ping on them. We don't have to ping that poor Orc army. It doesn't have to shoot itself in the foot for a turn. We can go straight to the face. We're going to get a draw trigger next turn, assuming they don't like wipe our board with Fury. And that is another card that I would love to Wasteland if we draw another Wasteland. Daze is probably not good, but we'll hold it. I'm going to go ahead and crack my clue because if I find a Wasteland, it's going to be pretty good. Okay, we found a land. That's a Surveil trigger. We take those. They're going to take one. If they decide to draw again, they're going to take a lot more. Fury does cleanly deal with my Orc and the token and take a lot of the pressure off if that's what they have. All right, they're doing it. Boing. Boing. Or what's a an arrow sound? 2 arrows right in the eyes, 1 in each eye. Right in the tiny little eye hole, like in the meme. Oh, you're doing it. You're making my day here. I'll grab the island back. Do you have the Spirit Guide? They didn't have it. Holy guacamole. This is the luckiest. Like, gosh. Okay, I'm going to try not to, like, compliment myself and pat myself on the back and thank my deck for being so generous to me. But like I feel incredibly lucky, and now we can even flip Tamiyo and start buying back force. That feels good. Let's go ahead and attack all. Buying back force would definitely feel good here. Next turn. I can't do that now, but I am going to go ahead and do this now. And I'm going to look for a Wasteland too. They seem to be choked on mana. Murderous Cut seems fine. We can actually just deploy a Strix here, and it's yet another beater that they have to deal with. I think that's better. And Murderous Cut's on the top. That's fine. We'll plus play out our land. Go ahead and play this out. This is better than a clue here. They have basically 1 turn to make it happen. I'm trying to think of what they could find. I mean, they have to find another One Ring is what they have to find. And that's a very temporary solution. Pyro. Yeah, that does hit for a little bit. It's 4/5. Is it going to hit our Tamiyo? It has to hit the actual Orc army here. Oh, no, it doesn't have to. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so they're just going to hit that. Now they can draw. But they're going to... I think they're dead on board anyway. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They're playing a dangerous game, not going ahead and drawing. Okay, let's take a look at our side, our graveyard, and see if there's anything we can bring back that just ends the game. If we just find another Bowmaster, the game's over. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Oh, wait, we have a freaking Murderous Cut. We can just kill him and attack in. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just... This is a 4-drop. I'll just Fatal Push it and I'll waste them. I don't think it really matters how we get the job done. Yeah, sorry. Like, my opponents were like, okay, just kill me. Yeah, and now we win. All right. Sideboard. We're bringing in all 3 of our Hydroblasts. Most players do not play 3 Hydroblasts, but I respect red. You've got to respect red decks. Moon Stompy, Painter, even Delver. I think it's good to have 3 blasts against them. So we're bringing those in for sure. Bringing in Force of Negation. I think it's probably correct to bring in Consign. The reason is they've got One Ring. They've got like Pyrogoyfs. They've got lots of stuff. And this does pitch to Force. Dismember for Magus of the Moon. Sadly, we have to do that. Fatal Push is not a good card against them. It gets hit by Chalice as well. Engineered Explosives does deal with Chalice, but at a pretty high cost. Thoughtseize on the draw is not good. It is good on the play. If there's a game 3, I'll definitely want to bring it back in. Snapcaster Mage is just too slow, in my opinion. Brazen Borrower is pretty good. Tamiyo's not the greatest. Spell Pierce. Also, like a lot of their threats are not creatures. I just want to like hard counter their spells, not rely on soft countering. So we could trim some Dazes. I kind of like doing that. Like maybe we just keep 1 Daze to make them honest. Because a lot of times what happens is they empty their hand and they have like nothing going on. And I mean, the other alternative, of course, we cut Tamiyo, but Tamiyo does pair with Kaito. And did we do anything with Tamiyo that game? I don't think we actually used Tamiyo's tokens or anything like that. Maybe we do keep in the Dazes and we take out the Tamiyos. Every other card is really good here. Like, I feel like Bowmasters is great. Yuriko is maybe not that great, but I do want to be able to Kaito, and I think between Bowmasters and Strix, we've got enough paths to Kaito. Murderous Cut, I think, stays in. It doesn't get hit by Chalice, and it hits like all their creatures without any conditions. They're not going to go after our graveyard. All right, let's submit. So we've got 3 removal spells, effectively, and then we've got Strix, which is virtual removal. To win game 1, that is unlikely. Like, you almost always lose if you're a blue deck against Moon Stompy game 1 because they're gunning for you. Like, the entire reason their deck exists is to stop you. This is a mulligan. I'm going to think for a minute, though, because I don't want them to think I'm aggressively mulling to force, but I am 100% aggressively mulling to force. Wait, this has Island. If they go all in on Blood Moon, this is an Island hand. And we do have Tamiyo, and we may be able to dig out of it. Am I getting too clever? We have Murderous Cut for the creatures. We have Bowmaster if they one ring. Between Ponder and Tamiyo, the odds of us finding a black source are pretty slim. If they use that Volcanic Eruption thing on this land, is this greedy? We have just so many blue elemental blasts, so many forces. We have 5 force effects. They're already mulling. I'm going to assume they're going for a glass cannon hand. This is a better hand. I'm glad I did that. I'm going to put back one of the Underground Seas. Double Bowmasters can really ratchet up the pressure. They're going to 5. I'm going to keep this. Whew. Wow. That was intense. Like, just, I mean, it may not seem like, oh, you're just thinking, but like, we could have definitely mulliganed to Oblivion looking for a force here. They're bolting in a land. Oh, they're not. That's great for us. I think we are favored the more time we get. Another Brainstorm's a great rip. I'm just going to chill with a force up. Force will probably pitch Brainstorm here. They're just putting another land into play tapped. This is great for us. The real question is, do I get greedy and do I get this Surveil land? I think I'm not going to. I think I'm just going to play this Underground Sea out and chill for a turn. Okay, Daze is a great rip. Now we have End-Step Bowmasters. Ancient Tomb doing some damage to themselves. Blood Moon. So, if we find the swamp miraculously off the top, we don't need to interact with this. Yeah, we just don't need to interact if we miraculously find the swamp. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm just on the off chance we do. Okay, we found a Hydroblast, which is freaking phenomenal. So I'm going to use that instead of the force here. And what I'm going to put back, I have to shuffle away some stuff. I think probably both of the Dazes. Because we still have the force if we need it, if they have a red elemental blast of their own. Now I'm going to go get my island, and I am going to get a swamp with this, and I'm not going to get the Surveil land. And if I get greedy and get a Surveil land, send a phone booth back in time with if I get greedy, send George Carlin back in a phone booth and have him warn me. Let's counter target spell if it's red. Have him chastise me is what I mean. Okay, I'm trying to like focus on what I'm doing here. If they do have a blast, it'll suck because I'll have to force instead of being able to just daze. But I do think it's likely that our dazes are not going to be that great. We have no wastelands or anything. Okay, great. That feels so good. All right. Kaito. Hey, hey, hey. All right, I'm getting like a lot of weird lag in the UI. All right. Don't like time out me now. All right. And so what I think we do here is we just chill, and I'm not going to play the Baleful Strix. I'd rather do the Orcish Bowmaster here as my force pitch. So it's pretty clear to me that they don't have Pyro, or at least they didn't last turn, or that would have been an easy Pyro. They're playing a land tapped. You'd love to see it. All right, let's go get that swamp. Shuffle away. Actually, we didn't need to go get the swamp here. Yeah. Bowmaster. Ping. Consign. Well, that's a good card. What I'm probably going to do with Kaito is try to find a land so I have Consign up. It is very greedy to bring back the Orca army instead of bringing back the Bowmaster. I'm sorry, it's greedy to bring back the Bowmaster because they could just untap and ring, and I want to be able to hit them with it. Okay, we're hitting them. This is just going to be oppressive. We've got a lot of stuff. If I can find a land and we have Consign up too, that's going to be so good. All right, let's go ahead and surveil here. Looking for land. I will take a Wasteland. I'll take a Wasteland and I'll hit the Ancient Tomb probably. If nothing else, but I'd rather find a fetch or a blue source. I think we have to take the Consign. I don't really want this. Yeah, just in case. I like having two forms of interaction. Dandy Andy is casting Fury, which can do a lot of damage here. Let's think about this. So they're pitching Shatter Skull. I think this is a pitch. I think we pitch Consign here. I don't want to lose my Orc, and I don't want this to go. It's interesting that they didn't just cast it. I think they have a follow-up. So I think we let this one resolve, and then we counter the other one. And it's going to do a lot of damage to our... Wait, if they just kill him, they could just kill him. Yeah, it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't. I think I let it resolve and take the 2-for-1. That may seem like really weird, but we can't risk them sticking a Fury next turn, like casting it, and then we're naked to it, and then there's a Fury on the table. So I think they're almost certainly going to throw everything at Kaito, which is a bummer, but we will rebuild. We can't get too Timmy here. All right, it's all on. Oh, they're not killing him? He has 4 loyalty, dude. All right. Well, I will force the Fury if you actually cast one from hand. I mean, like, the important thing is he has some loyalty here. The One Ring. This is a force. I'm going to pitch. I'm going to hold up Consign. Yeah, I think Consign has to stay up. All right. To give my opponent credit for their sequencing, like... Oh, I'm going to plus first, so we can do a little extra damage here. Okay, now we can attack. And we're just going to keep beating them down. I mean, their mana base does damage to them. They're taking 4 here. They're dropping to 7. We've got Bowmasters up. They don't know that we have Bowmasters up too. We've got Consign. I think this is in the bag, but I could totally be wrong. Like, I'm trying to think of what we lose to here when they only have 2 cards. Because they have to deal with this. Next turn, this will deal 6, or it'll deal 5. No, wait, 6. No, they're dead on board. They're dead on board. They do have red mana up. We could consign the trigger, and then this is a... No, because they can... Yeah, if we consign the trigger, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to force it. And that may seem like punting. Like, what if they do have the blast? We still have Orcish Bowmaster and a Surveil trigger. If they have the red elemental blast here. And I can't imagine why they wouldn't have used the red elemental blast earlier. It could be that they had Pyrogorph in hand and red elemental blast was the draw for turn. Clinched it. Wow. Yeah, that's a trophy. That's trophy, I think, number 5 for the season. Let me check. So we can go to our handy dandy collection over here and look at all the trophies we've gotten. One of these, of course, was alongside the amazing Jorge Chica. The other ones were just, I think I've published every single trophy I've gotten. Like all those have been recorded. I don't generally play without recording. Like I'll always record. Okay, so I did do a different brew. I did like a red-blue kind of control-y brew. It wasn't Wizards. It was like just, what if we just, I called it blue-red Tamiyo control, and that did not do well. So that did, I think, 1-4, And so if I'm doing terribly, I'll just shut off the mic and I'll just play and just be like, all right, I'm going to try to win some play points back. I didn't win any of that back, that kind of game. But like here, 200 play points, these chests are like at an all-time market low. They're like $1.50 each or something like that. But still, like that's, another league that I can do. If you're wondering why I'm not just in the, creator program, it's closed and I'm going to apply soon. I'll stop babbling and let's just take another look at this list. So Tamiyo was great the whole time. Baleful Strix was a freaking powerhouse, flying over Eldrazi opponents and beating them to death. That felt amazing. Okay, so here's the full list. All the glory. We never really used engineered explosives, but it felt good to have it in there in case people did have Chalice. Dismember played a huge role in one of those rounds against Magus of the Moon. Hydroblast, don't leave home without them. Like, red is really strong. All 4 consigns felt good. We brought them in, I think, at least 2 different matchups. We did resolve this, and it helped get us across the finish line with like 20 seconds left on the clock during that Eldrazi matchup. I do think it's correct to play one. Even if you're playing 4 consign. I think 4 consign, 1 Harbinger is the right split right now. Force Negation showed up time after time. We didn't get queued into anything too degenerate, like oops, but I do think correct to play a Force of Negation in the side. I wouldn't go so far as playing 2, because with 5, every hand you look at is like 47% chance of seeing a force effect. So yeah, I think you do want to have one. Otherwise you're at 40%, which is a big deal. It's a big difference having a 5th force. Okay. These Graphic Cascade didn't come in. Thankfully, we didn't have to play against Blue Black Reanimator or Nadu. That was a Nautilus League. Hey, let's hear it for Nautilus League. Okay, so my thoughts on the cards. Yuriko, the only time she came in, she immediately did like 3 damage, and she because we flipped a Force Negation off of her, and she bounced the Bowmaster to our hand, and then we were able to redeploy Bowmaster, growing the army and dealing another ping damage. That's pretty good. Like, not bad for a 1-of. And I don't think we should play more than 1 because she is legendary. You know who else is legendary? You don't want to draw 2 of these, but this is so good you do want to draw it. So I do think that this is a 2-of. And I think a lot of people are like, let's go full ninjas, like 4 Yuriko, 4 Infiltrator, 4 Kaito. Like, I think that's the wrong approach. I really do think the old ninjas is just not that great. Like, you don't, like, I love Retrofitter Foundry. I think it's an amazing card. And I would love to, turn my Ornithopters into 4/4s afterward, but that just feels like so Timmy. That doesn't feel like what you need to be doing if you want to be able to beat Eldrazi and if you want to be able to beat, top decks. I did play against a really chill player who was on blue-black, like classic blue-black ninjas with all the basics. Don't play a whole lot of basics. Like, it's just not a recipe for victory, in my humble opinion. I really do think you play 1 of each color, and then you play a ton of fetches, and you play a ton of duels. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they don't want to have to go out and buy duels. And you could get away with like 1 dual land. And I think most Ninjas players play more than 1. But I genuinely think that like you want to go full 4 because it is so important. And there are so many matchups where it does not matter. Like, you draw a swamp and you're like, damn, if this were an island, I'd be able to keep this hand against, Storm or whatever. And I think if you look at this, we're playing 14 initial blue sources. We're playing the 4 wastelands. We're playing the 1 swamp. And then the other 14 lands in our deck can all fetch cast blue on turn 1. And I think it's very important when you have cards like Spell Pierce in your hand. By the way, I think this was a really good card, and I do recommend playing one. Thoughtseize felt amazing the entire time, even though we boarded it out against some aggro decks. I think Thoughtseize is great right now. And let's talk about, like, if you were playing ninjas, you probably wouldn't have room for Spell Pierce and Thoughtseize. Like, you generally want like 15 threats. I mean, like, technically we have like 18 if you count Kaito. So we are a pretty threat heavy deck. I'm not sure about Snapcaster Mage. Like, I did just do like a really, like, I don't want to spoil how the league went, but it went very well where I was playing Wizard Control and I had 4 of them. And I think that's good. But I do think he's a bit slow considering we're like a Wasteland deck. And the other deck, like, my inclination is take him out and replace him with, I mean, it wouldn't be beyond the pale to like have a second Spell Pierce. I think it is really good. And then you think of like how heavy we are on the soft permission. 4 days, 2 Spell Pierce. Granted that like we're not doing anything explosive turn 1. We're usually just Thoughtseizing or cantripping. I mean, if we were using our graveyard more, I would say, oh, definitely like have another Thoughtseize in here. One card that this could be is a Murktide, just as a yet another way to end the game, because you're not really using your graveyard for anything other than Murderous Cut. We did encounter Chalice, I think, in this league, and Murderous Cut's ability to not be affected by Chalice is a pretty powerful effect. Its ability to hit creatures like Devourer of Destiny that Fatal Push can't hit is relevant as well. So I wouldn't tell you to like not play Murderous Cut. I'm trying to think if there were any situations where like, oh damn, I can't use this Murderous Cut. I think there might have been like 1 or 2 turn cycles where we couldn't use it, but we did eventually get to use it. And it's a good card. It's really good in Beanstalk. But I mean, if I had to choose like a control deck to play between Wizards and this and Beanstalk, I'd probably just choose Beanstalk because I think it is like incredibly powerful and it's incredibly flexible. And especially Pokemoki's new list where, here, let's pull out Pokemoki's list, because I know you clicked on this NINJAS video so that you could watch me talk about an unrelated deck. So Pokemoki's doing 3 Beanstalks and 1 Narset. I'm not a huge fan of Narset. I don't think she would have been very good in any of those matchups we just played. I would rather have the 4th Beanstalk, but I can see why Pokemoki is experimenting with her instead of having the 4th Beanstalk. I think we could probably do 3 Beanstalks and just have this be another really good card. Like Bowmaster number 3 is probably what I like. In fact, I'm going to make that change right now. Bowmaster number 3 is totally worth it. How do I add one? Is there like just to add? I'll figure it out later. But my point is, let's get the actual deck we're playing here on the list. 4 Bowmasters was insane. It's good in pretty much every matchup. I think people like lost sight of how good it was when Frog was out because Frog was unambiguously what you wanted to be doing. Frog, I'm glad they banned it, even though I love the card, because it did, make strategies a lot more homogenous, because everybody's just like, well, why not play Frog? Like if you're not playing 4 Frog, you're doing it wrong. That was literally how it was. If you weren't playing 4 Frog, you were doing it wrong. And Pokemoki, I think, experimented with Beanstalk with like 2 Frogs and stuff like that. And I think James Kisal was only playing like 2 or 3 at one point. But like, in my humble opinion, there was never a deck that I built during that period that Frog was legal that didn't have 4 Frogs in it, unless it was like straight up like blue-white or something like that. And frankly, you shouldn't have been playing blue-white back then. You should have been playing Esper. That's how good Frog was. So I'm very glad they banned Frog, and I think Bowmasters really gets a chance to shine. Obviously, Bowmasters is a little weaker now because they printed a bunch of cards that have greater than 1 toughness, and you're not going to get as many free lunches as you used to be able to. But against most decks that are trying to draw cards, Bowmasters is still quite good. So again, the synergy of Baleful Strix just felt amazing. I love this card. I'm so thrilled that this is playable again. Obviously, you have to be able to snipe out your opponent's Bowmasters. Otherwise, this is like a horrible top deck when you're like in a top deck war and they've got a Bowmasters on the table and you draw a Baleful Strix. It's like so sad. But you can avoid that situation by just maintaining Bowmaster supremacy by casting your Bowmasters second. That is the name of the game. As I like to paraphrase, let he who is without sin cast the first Orcish Bowmasters. All right. So let's go over to, Thoughtseize number 3 could be totally fine, I think. I don't remember what substitution I made earlier when I took out the Snapcaster, but I think Thoughtseize number 3 is totally legit here. Yeah, and that's where I'll leave it. Sorry, my brain's like kind of scrambled. I brought in another Spell Pierce. Like, I think probably Thoughtseize is better than Spell Pierce. It would be my instinct because you don't have a lot of turn 1 plays, and holding up Spell Pierce is not a powerful turn 1 play unless you know what you're up against. But if you're in the blind, if you just have another land and you can fetch an Underground Sea and Thoughtseize them with a Daze backup, that is really strong. And even though we're not doing anything with our graveyard, I'd love to put a Murktide in here, but thematically, Murktide just doesn't fit into this. We've already got our top of the curve finisher. Also, I never actually paid the casting cost on Kaito, but 4 mana for this ability is not bad. Even if you're casting him, he's not terrible, but he is insane when he's uncounterable coming in, surprising your opponents. Ninjutsu, they're stealth masters, right? Anyway, I'll leave it there. And the other card I'm not sure about is Plague Engineer. I think this might be good against Nadu. It does have an ETB trigger, which is good when you're playing with ninjutsu, but I'm not really sure. One thing I will say is I saw people doing like cute stuff, like, oh, I'm going to put an Emrakul in here, and then I can just reveal to Yuriko. Go ahead and live your best Timmy life if you want to do that, but I want to get the W's, and I think playing a single Yuriko and just hopefully hitting a Force or a Murderous Cut is a much better strategy. I mean, the average curve of our deck is probably like 3, maybe 2.5 or something like that. It is higher, and one of the reasons, I'll keep talking a little bit more. One of the reasons I decided to use this deck is because I was looking at those challenge finishes and I saw so much Chalice of the Void, and I was like, I can't be playing Nethergoyfs and DRCs and Delvers of all cards into a Chalice. Like, I actually saw a deck that, like, I think top 32 at the big event. It was like a 200 plus person event. By the way, if you're wondering why I always do leagues instead of doing those, I cannot stand waiting around in between rounds. It takes forever. And I'm like, all right, babe. I talked to my wife. I'm like, all right, babe, I'm going to be playing all freaking day. I'm going to be playing for like 10 hours. And she's like, nope. I can get in and do a league. And since there's no downtime, I can do a league in like 3 hours, even though I'm a slow ass player. I'm a slow player, pardon me. And I also, often choose decks that are very slow and lead me to having like 20 seconds on my clock against Eldrazi. So I'll leave it there. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you get a chance to take this deck for a spin. You will not be disappointed. It is an absolute blast to play, and I hope it becomes a tier deck. I definitely think that blue-black is still strong. Kaito is really good, and Kaito is probably the main reason to be playing blue-black right now, other than Bowmasters. But I think Baleful Strix is perfectly respectable, and control does not need to be blue-white or blue-red. I think blue-black is a viable strategy. And if you don't want to play Beanstalk, you don't want to play a three-color strategy because you're sick of getting wasted off your colors, play a 2-color strategy, play basics, have pretty much perfect mana, and go forth and ninjutsu people. Till next time, be excellent to each other and party on.